Welcome to Edge. I'm Robert Krulwich. Oliver Stone's reality. As he releases his new film, JFK, we show how you too can make an Oliver Stone movie. This month sees the release of JFK, the most talked about and written about Hollywood movie of the season. It stars Kevin Costner as the district attorney determined to solve the mystery of who really killed President John Kennedy in 1963. JFK is directed and co-written by Oliver Stone, and it's exactly the sort of film you might expect from him. Plenty of raw emotion and high drama like his previous films, Platoon, Wall Street, Born on the 4th of July. Stone is that rare thing, winner of Academy Awards, a director of commercially successful and critically acclaimed films. It's a trick many budding film directors would love to pull off. So here is film critic Elvis Mitchell with a do-it-yourself guide on how you too can make an Oliver Stone movie.
When you see Platoon, Born on the 4th of July on Wall Street, do you say to yourself, boy, I wish I could do that? Well, you're not alone. If the idea of making millions of dollars and walloping America between the eyes with your overwrought cinematic vision appeals to you, and I know it does, then listen carefully. The first thing to do is to get inside the head of Oliver Stone. Remember, your primary motivation is to keep remaking the 60s until you get it right. For example, if I were in an Oliver Stone picture, I'd probably look something like this. Now, turning to our model, what we have here is Hollywood, populated with the kind of characters and equipment you'll need to get your bullying masculinity immortalized on the big screen. Let's examine the 10 elements necessary to make your own revisionist assaultive epic. Number 1, the blank hero. You must have a boy ingenue with a good jawline and a vacant stare. Think of your hero as a puppy, eager, energetic, untrained, and willing to accept the dictates of your will. He must be cute because, of course, he's playing you. Any good-looking white man will do. Number 2, incessant Steadicam. Your movie must feel ambitious, questioning, searching for a greater truth, so keep that camera moving. Cruising, traveling around the American psyche.
Woo! Mark! I just bagged the elephant.
Number 3, a woman with nothing to do. Well, almost nothing to do.
Very attractive.
Hey, Oliver Stone is a progressive thinking product of his time. Women exist in his pictures to complete his vision of social interaction.
I'd like to do for furniture what Laura Ashley did for interior fabric.
And to provide as much free sex as possible. Compelling use of stereotypes. In Oliver Stone's pictures, Platoon and Salvador, ethnic minorities have been noble, they've suffered, they've been noble sufferers.
I don't know, brothers, but I'm hurting real bad inside.
But the fact is, by giving them too much dimension, you detract from the hero's existential journey. So for them, one dimension is just fine.
That honky fish. Ought to give me some Motown jams, digging.
Don't forget to use those straightforward expositional skills. A point isn't a point until it's underlined. Tell your audience where they are at all times. If it's 1966, have someone say, what a fabulous day this is in 1966.
You can feel it in the air. People want to fight, love, or kill. Vietnam is right out there, man. Sides are being chosen.
Make your point quickly. Oliver uses his record collection. Why don't you use yours?
Try acid, Rick. It's guaranteed.
Morrison. Oh, the last trip was a real bummer, man.
Number 5. Why are you standing there? Keep that camera moving. An Oliver Stone picture is like a bumper car ride. You're always looking for the next object to hurtle into. Number 6, the father figure. Remember, in the end, these movies are about guys. Oliver Stone probably had a complicated relationship with his father. You probably did too. You don't have time for that. Keep it simple. Father figures are either nurturing or they're figuratively and psychologically scarred. By reducing them, you make them bigger, more mythic. This isn't physics. Don't think about it. Just do it.
This is how you pay me back, you cockroach. I love you, Dad. I love you so much.
Which brings me to our next point. Number 7, reduce complex moral issues into a simplistic struggle between good and evil. The war in Vietnam, for example, it began as a land struggle between the French and the Southeast Asians that started long before we got there. Writing a book or make a movie. Wake up the audience. It is good and evil. It is rich and poor. It is black and white. Gray, that's for the French. Number 8. Why is your camera in park? Number 9. Personalize your country's past. As an American, ask yourself, what were the most troubling and turbulent social events of the last 30 years? And then ask yourself, why did they happen to me? Some people will call this self-indulgence, self-involvement. Oliver will call this focus. Remember, each film should snatch your hero out of his suburban kitchen and throw him into hell. All these journeys to the center of the mind will take their toll. The turmoil will fester inside you and your hero, and as a result, lead to the most important and final element. Your father figure betrays you, and, number 10, you go ballistic.
Murder! Death! Doc! Dead!
Revisionism? Passage through the dark side? You gotta go for it, man. Explosions are good because what else are you gonna do? You're an American man. It'd also help at this point to have some slow motion footage of carnage and those records we alluded to earlier. Make sure people hear them again. You want your audience to carry something home with them. Incidentally, don't worry about your picture being too long. Take all the time you want. It's your movie. So you must be feeling good. You've torched your first set. You're almost a director. But before you get there, don't be fooled by imitation Oliver Stone pictures. Consult only the real thing. Speaking of the real thing, let's take a look at a piece of film by the master himself, just to make sure you can pick out all 10 elements. Now go out there and make him proud.
Who are you scared of, Dave?
Me? I'm afraid of everybody. Everybody. Agency, mob, Cubans.
If you just talk to us on the record, we'll protect you, I guarantee it.
It was a day that changed our lives.
The smoke came from behind the hedge.
For one man, it became an obsession with truth.
He was a DA in New Orleans.
Don't you think the Kennedy assassination's a little bit out of your domain?
A sacrifice of everything he had.
I think you care more about John Kennedy than your own family.
For everything he believed.
Nothing is going to keep me from going ahead with my investigation of John Kennedy's murder.
They tried to keep him from asking why.
That's the real question, isn't it? Why?
The government's gonna jump all over your head, Jimbo.
Why was Kennedy killed?
Are the same people killing us, Pop?
Nobody's going to kill us.
Who benefited?
You have any idea what you're getting yourself into, Daddy-O?
Who has the power to cover it up?
Warner Brothers presents Kevin Costner
Now, we're through the looking glass here, people.
in an Oliver Stone film.
White is black, and black is white.
People got to know. I'm a dead man!